Hi everybody, welcome to another faith-free family moment. It's good to be with you. We've been talking about stress, and I'd kind of like to wrap it up today as we look at Psalm 46 and then maybe give you some practical applications as to how to face stress in your life. We've talked about the fact that in Psalm 46, God's referred to as our refuge and strength. He's a very present help in trouble, and that God is a refuge for his people. He's continually available, thoroughly adequate, and readily accessible. God is resident among his people. He's a God of power. He's a God of patience. We also read in Psalm 46, in verses 4 and 5, there's a river whose streams make glad the city of God, the holy dwelling places of the Most High. God is in the midst of her. She will not be moved. You see, God sends a river to his people. He does. It's a refreshing river because we're told it makes glad the city of God. It's a reviving river. It makes new. Isn't that rich? I mean, God sends a river, and in the midst of your stress, he can make you glad. He makes things new. That's the God we serve. The God is a refuge. Well, I'd like to establish some principles based on Psalm 46 and Matthew 10, which we've looked at a couple times. Number one, create pauses in your life. If you want to really face stress, you need to create pauses. I get that from verse 10. Be still, the psalmist says, and know that I'm God. Another translation, cease striving. It means to pause. Matter of fact, if you read through the Psalms, you see a little word sometimes between different paragraphs called Selah. And the word basically means pause, stop. That's a good word. I wonder if you want to start creating selahs in your life. Psalm 1, interesting enough, equates delight with meditation. In other words, the one who experiences delight is the one who meditates. And you could say pauses and thinks about their relationship with God. If you don't pause or reflect, how can your heart have a chance to respond to what God wants to say to you and is saying to you through his word? Without pauses, it doesn't give resonance to God's words in our life. We need pauses. Stress crowds out the pauses. You know that to be true. And when life pressures us to put as much as we can into one day, it's like we start reducing the type, combining paragraphs, and we add out spaces. If you've ever done that in a book, it'd be very difficult to read, be exhausting to read. But there are spaces, there are pauses in paragraphs between sentences. And God wants you to have pause in the middle of your day. Create pauses. Number two, release the pressure. Face it. We're more like pressure cookers than we are kettles. We hold it all in and it's very unhealthy. So have a little more fun. Find a way to release the pressure. The doctor should write a prescription. Medical field doesn't admit that fun is a part of a healthy regimen. Several years ago, I went and saw a Christian counselor. I never thought I would do that. I always tell people, hey, you should go maybe see a Christian counselor, but I never, I guess, even thought that maybe that would be a good idea for me to listen to my own advice. And after the death of my dad and many other factors that started to pile up all at once, over a couple of years actually, my pauses weren't as long as they needed to be, and stress, some sense of aloneness crept in. I remember sitting with a Christian counselor and just kind of sharing this. And he said to me something interesting. He said, when's the last time you did something just recreation-wise? Just something you really like to do? And I couldn't think of the last time. It had been that long. And he just said to me, this is part of your problem. You need something in your life that you can look forward to a little bit more that you know is going to be relaxing and fun. And that energizes us. That was a good word for me. When's the last time you laughed? You had some fun? I don't know, we never really see Mickey Mouse in therapy. And so let's learn to laugh a little bit more. Spend time doing the things we enjoy, and some of the pressure we feel can't help but escape. And number three, refocus your thinking. Create pauses release the pressure, and refocus your thinking. You see, to deal with stressful feelings, we need to change both our perspective and our expectations. This helps us see circumstances the way God sees them. Job, child, paycheck, spouse. Often stress is on what are not really often our highest priorities. Maybe you just need to reprioritize. Whatever it is, you need to refocus your thinking. Sometimes it's just talking with somebody, help think out loud. I'm a processor that way. Maybe it's some stress-busting activity. It's getting your thoughts back in a reassuring mode. I find praise and worship music incredibly soothing. I also, be honest, I love the saxophone and piano, and sometimes I'll just put that music on. It just calms my spirit. Just makes it a little easier to refocus my thinking. And so practically speaking, create pauses in your life, release the pressure, and refocus your thinking. And I think you're going to be on your way to handling the pressure in a healthy way. And you're going to find greater peace that Jesus talks about that we can experience in a walk with him. And so I pray and hope that this has been encouraging to you and some help. And may God richly bless you. Have an incredible day, everybody.